Hello and welcome to Startline, brought to you by the Manx Motorcycle Club. I'm Beth Espy and this podcast is about everything road racing, both on the Isle of Man and further afield. From the races and the teams to the organisers and officials, it is all here on Startline. As ever, thank you so much for downloading this episode and for supporting the podcast. We have got a Startline podcast page on Facebook now, which you can follow. I am officially in the 21st century, obviously taken a little while. If you're able to give it a follow, that would be amazing. It's where we'll post all the details about the episodes that are available and a little bit of extra content there as well. In this episode, then, we're going to look at the side of road racing that doesn't always get the spotlight, but without it, none of it would be possible. And it's something that comes up in pretty much every conversation that I have. Because behind every rider who's chasing a dream around the mountain course, there's usually someone backing them, believing in them, and really financially, as well as other things, making it all happen. So today we're joined by Ray Goodwin, a sponsor with a real passion for supporting Manx riders and giving local talent the chance to get to the start line and compete. And alongside him is Sam Naughton, one of the riders Ray supported last year for, among other things, his first MGP. And Sam is therefore someone who knows firsthand just how much that backing can mean, both on and off the bike. And really, this is a conversation about much more than just sponsorship. It is about trust, belief, and what it takes to keep the next generation of Manx road racers moving forward.
Last year, I sponsored Sam through Blind Smart. And, you know, with sponsoring him and obviously just having a look at how he did things, and I watched him very closely. I was with him throughout the year, and I'm not too sure if he got a bit wary of me and saying, "Oh, Ray's getting a bit too much now," but I don't think so. But basically, what I did was I saw that there was a need for the guys. I mean, most of the guys, they're funding this out of their own pockets. So I thought, what can I do to be different? So I set up Three Legs Motorsport to kind of grow it, and so that we could get businesses involved, show the transparency. Obviously, when businesses get involved, we show them exactly what's entailed in the sponsorship. We build the transparency for them. So it's really just, we're looking to build that relationship with local businesses as well as get the community involved and grow it from there.
And presumably you've got a background interest in motorbikes.
Yeah, I've been on the island for 10 years now, and obviously I've followed the bikes closely throughout the 10 years. Last year was the first year that I really got involved in the background of it. And I kind of enjoyed it, going up to Derby with Sam, watching Sam's journey through his last bike that he had. So yeah, it kind of creates a bit of an interest for me. And I was like, it's something that I could do and get behind the guys and be the business side of things behind the racing for the guys.
We talk to so many riders and sponsorship is just always the conversation that we have. And, you know, it's a really difficult environment at the moment, isn't it? And trying to get sponsorship, and the cost of being in this sport is immense. So actually what you're doing is fundamentally helping people achieve their dream.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look at it, the cost, like you said, the cost is quite a lot. But what we do is we got different packages set up for businesses. So you can have a big sponsor or you can have a smaller sponsors. We've then got smaller packages where smaller business can still get involved and still feel part of, let's call it the team. So we've done it for everybody. And the whole point is to be transparent with the businesses. I mean, I looked at it last year and I was like, okay, we sponsored Sam, and I looked at it, I was like, what did we actually get out of it? Okay, there was a few Facebook posts and things like that and mentions, but I was like, there must be able to be something more that we can do. That's when we came up with the idea of doing sponsored videos, sponsored images. So it just gives the businesses, they have like on our page, they'll be sponsored by a sponsor, and it just gives them a bit more transparency. And as we grow our reach, their reach would then increase as well across the island.
We'll talk a little bit more about how it works for businesses, but Sam, let's come to you. Obviously, it was a big year for you last year, your first MGP. How was it all?
Practice week was mega. I absolutely loved practice week, but both races, we had big issues in both races. The first race, we'd actually had to fit a different power command onto the bike in practice week, which ran perfect all week. And then the first race after the pit stop, I went out the pit stop and the bike just wouldn't rev. I had no power. So I was like, sort of toodling around for like 2 laps. I was like going through corners full chat in 6th gear when I should have been in like 4th gear because the bike just had no power. So I was really disappointed in that. And then we managed to fix the bike for the next race and got a decent start. And I think myself, Blake Kelly and Wayne were all like right next to each other. So like it was looking like it was going to be a good battle for, you know, best Manxman in that race, apart from Grant, who I think he'd broken down already at that point, unfortunately for him. Coming to the pit stops, I couldn't get the bike in neutral to get going, which was really annoying. We lost about a minute in the pit stop, and then I was like, we'll just go out and, you know, enjoy the last 2 laps in the sun. And on the last lap at Laurel Bank, the bike's turned off. So yeah, I had to get a lift back in a recovery car, and it turned out it was a 10 amp fuse had popped for the fuel pump. So yeah, that sort of ended the week like that. So overall, the week was great, but I sort of left like a bit bitter about it, really, and you know, I was disappointed in it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? I guess you can try and prepare for every possible scenario, and then something probably as stupid as that going, and I guess it takes a little bit of getting over.
Yeah, it took me a while. I know it's a bit soppy, but I was sat in the van when I got back to the paddock. I was upset about it. Luckily, I had the wife there to console me. The boys chucked me a beer, which made me feel a bit better. But yeah, well, it's hard to get over, and then, you know, you've got to wait an entire year before you get to have another crack at it, which is a bit of a bummer. You know, especially when the sun was out like it was for us, you just want to get straight back out there and sort of put those demons, I guess you can call them, behind you.
But I guess there was no question that you were going to do it again.
No doubt at all now.
We've been talking then a little bit about the sponsorship and the expense of it. And from a rider's point of view, what does it mean to have that investment in you?
I mean, Ray's done wonders for me. He did wonders for me last year with the sponsorship he gave me. And this year, he's took the burden of me having to go out and try and get sponsorship. That's all been off my shoulders now because Ray's doing that through Three Legs Motorsport. So, I mean, for me, it's just been mega. I concentrate on getting my stuff ready. But then it also gives me a lot more time with the family as well, which is just, you know, it's absolutely amazing what he's doing for me. And he's wanting to help other people as well, which is a good thing.
What about the responsibility you feel as a rider to somebody who's sponsoring you?
Yeah, I mean, you do feel a pressure about it, but Ray's very understanding. Like last year when we went to the pre-TT, it rained, obviously, like it'd been sunny for like 5 weeks before that. And then as soon as it shut the road, it absolutely chucked it down, didn't it? And I put wet tyres in the bike, and then I was like, you know what, I don't want to ride in the rain around here. And I said it to Ray, and Ray was totally cool with it. And, you know, it does suck because you do feel like you're letting sponsors and stuff down when something like that happens. But at the end of the day, it's me out there on the road, and if I'm not comfortable or feel like I want to do it, then I'm not going to do it. And it's good to have, you know, Ray there. You know, he's got my back with stuff like that, which is brilliant, yeah.
And Ray, from your point of view, I mean, you get to know these riders, you get to know their sort of quirks, and when they go through a tough time like that, it must be more than sponsorship in some ways. You're kind of like a bit of a team counsellor.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're the ones riding the bike, and they're going out there. The main thing is if they don't feel comfortable going out, that's their gut feeling saying don't go out. So, you know, every rider knows his own capabilities. So we're here to support them. I think after the pre-TT, we went and had a beer and watched the racing at the end. So it's not the case of, oh, you didn't ride and then we just went our separate ways. We continued and we did stuff together. The whole thing, I think, with this is to do a team effort. Create that team effort, you know, for the smaller guys, they're just riding, aren't they? So we're now going to create that team environment where they feel part of something.
How do you choose the riders that you're going to support?
So what we're going to do is we're basically going to work with close. I've got a few guys in mind. Obviously, I'll be working closely with Sam as well. And you know, we've got some good advice from Lee. We'll be working closely with Andreas. And you know, basically what we're going to look for is guys to get them down Bray Hill. Yes, I would love to be able to help everybody, but we have to limit it to, are you preparing for Manx Grand Prix? That's are really going to focus on road racing. So yes, we can help the guys during the track and things, but it's really going to be focused on road racing.
And is it specifically riders from the Isle of Man?
Yeah, it would be island riders. I mean, obviously the rules are changing with the bikes and things for next year for Manx Grand Prix. So that's where we've come on board. A lot of guys financially won't be able to do it. That's where we've come on board now and say, look, this is what we can do for you guys. We can help you get sponsors, and we can sort of work through getting bikes and things like that.
From the business point of view then, for people who may be interested in the sponsorship side, I guess there is that idea that sponsorship equals thousands and thousands of pounds. But, having spoken to people like Sam before, actually, sometimes just a set of tyres or money towards fuel and things like that makes such a difference. Where are you sort of pitching the level that people have to invest?
Yeah, so we've got 5 categories that we look at sponsorships. You've got your main sponsors, which would be about 5,000, going down to your bronze sponsor, which would be about 500. Now, each package has various different options. For instance, a main sponsor would get exposure throughout everything that we do for racing. Your next package then is slightly cheaper, and then they get videos that are posted monthly. Weekly, bi-weekly, obviously as soon as we can get footage, we then sponsor that. So we're looking at doing, it's a sponsorship within the media package. That's what we're looking at doing. And it just gives the guys more exposure.
And again, yeah, like you say, I mean, that's really important, isn't it? Because without the people who are sort of setting out on their journey here, we don't have races at all, do we?
Yeah, I mean, we're working hard behind the scenes to try and get more businesses, show businesses what we're doing, and get them involved, because once again, if we can't get businesses as well as the local community to step up and say, all right, let's help these local riders, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for most of the riders to actually continue their racing careers.
What sort of interest have you had from businesses over here so far?
Yeah, well, I think Sam got 3 new sponsors this year, which was really good. I have felt the struggles though. You do message people and email them, and it kind of, they get approached by so many people. But I just think that the response that we get from the guys and the feedback we've got from a lot of businesses is really good. I mean, we send them a full portfolio of the rider, and they get a decent package of what the idea is. So yeah, I think local businesses, they are really coming to it, and I think as we go along, a lot more people will get involved.
I should say, Ray, I don't think this isn't your full-time job, is it? But I imagine it must feel like that sometimes.
It's not my full-time job. Sometimes I've got to time myself. Obviously, I've got a full-time job as well, but it's the same as these guys. All these riders have got full-time jobs, but they're out when they come home, they're working on the bike. When they're on the weekends, they're working on the bike. So it's kind of the same for me, really, is when I'm home, I'm on the laptop sorting out the website, or I'm sorting out Facebook posts, and sometimes the wife gets a bit annoyed, but you know what, it's one of those things, unfortunately.
But I suppose, Ray, you haven't got bike parts all around the house. Sam, I don't know what your situation is like at the moment. I know you've got a new machine, but when I've spoken to you in the past, I think there were quite a few bits in the kitchen.
There was, but you've got to know there's now a dining table in there.
Oh.
I built a ginormous shed in the back garden, which I've nearly finished. The bike's in there already, but I think the kids are sat in there more now because I've put a sofa in there and a projector. But yeah, that was a lot of effort. I think I shoveled about 11 tons of mud out with a shovel and a wheelbarrow to build it. So,
well, we know how you spent the long winter months then.
Yeah, it did take a while, to be fair. And that between that and carting the kids around and stuff, it was pretty difficult, but it's done now, which is the main thing.
And that's it, isn't it? Like Ray was saying, sort of taking the pressure from you to have to go out and have those sponsorship conversations on top of everything else, racing that you have to do and preparing everything and actually trying to have some sort of family life. I mean, you referred to it before. I mean, it just takes a massive strain away. Yeah, it does.
My daughter dances, well, I think it's 5 days a week out in Peel, and with us living in Castletown. So I actually spend most of my time, like after work, driving to and from Peel. So it makes it difficult, not just spend all the time with the other kids, but to get stuff done on the bike. Sometimes you're up till like 11, 12 o'clock at night trying to get stuff done, and you're sitting down for your dinner in between that, or you're just eating something on the go, and it's just trying to do all that and go out and speak to sponsors to try and raise money for everything, it was just a nightmare. So yeah, Ray doing this it's took a lot of weight off my mind as well. Like I'm not really worrying about it this year because Ray's telling me what's going on, and I'm like, oh, that's great. We can afford to do this, or we can afford to get that done on the bike and stuff. And it's just, yeah, it's absolutely mega.
And then in terms of you having to do sort of the social side of stuff, is there a bit of a responsibility there?
Yeah, so we're sort of taking it in turns, I suppose, aren't we? So Ray's doing like the Three Legs Motorsport stuff and bits on my actual Facebook as well, but I'm still doing like the main posts and stuff. He's pressuring me into filming stuff around the house. He made me film cleaning up the kitchen where the bike was going, just to get little videos and stuff, But that, I don't mind doing stuff like that. That's, it doesn't take too long to film little videos and stuff. It's just the editing side. I've been asking my daughter to do the editing, but she's got no interest in it, unfortunately.
I think we might have to share that kitchen video as well. It sounds very exciting. Just talk us through then, obviously we're speaking that the racing season is just getting underway. What the past few weeks been like for you?
Straighten, to be fair. We went up to the first test in Derby, was that 3 weeks ago, I think it was. So first time out on the new bike. And I missed the first session of the day because my tyre warmer, it's like one of them digital ones, and it turned on, the screen and all that was on, and then had it on for about an hour, and I put my hand on it, it was stone cold. So I was like, got no temperature in my tyre. I was like, I can't go out with no temperature in the tyre. And then I got out to the end of it. I think I did like 2 laps, just bedding in new brakes and stuff. And then I actually realised there was an issue with the brakes. So then we spent about an hour trying to sort that out. And then by the time we'd got that sorted out, the next session was out. So I missed that session as well. And then, so I got 2 sessions in on that day. And then I had to leave early to pick my daughter up. So went into the race day a bit underprepared because we'd only done 2 sessions the day before. Qualifying felt all right. It's a new bike, so it takes a while to get used to them, doesn't it? Started, I can't remember, 3rd row or something on the grid, and set off and immediately realised that my clutch was gone. So I was like, oh no, what a nightmare, because I was like, I just need to get signatures, for the Grand Prix again. So AGR had a look at it, loosened my clutch off for me, and I did actually finish the second race, but it was, I had no 5th gear at all. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th were all slipping. So the lap times I was doing with a bike that had no clutch, I was actually surprised, like how well I was going. Yeah, I had a good race because I had to start at the back of the grid and do some overtaking and stuff. And then, we went to Alton Park the weekend just gone, did the test day on the Thursday, which was good. Got a lot of seat time then. Started to feel comfortable on the bike. So I was looking forward to the racing Friday, Saturday. Unfortunately, I managed half a lap on the out lap on Friday morning, and then had a bit of a crash and got declared unfit for the rest of the weekend. So we changed the boat to Friday. We were supposed to come back Saturday night, and we come back Friday night instead. So yeah, I'm still a bit bruised up after that. But
and do you know what caused it?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I think it was just a bit of cold tyres, because the track was a bit damp and greasy. Yeah, I just went into his chicane, lost the front, and the rear end come round on me and threw me over the top of it.
Oh no! You said you were looking at the video of it, and it didn't look perhaps as spectacular as you would have liked.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd gone about 20 feet in the air, to be fair, and then I saw the video and I thought, looks a bit rubbish, that. It's the first time I've ever got a crash caught on camera, and I thought, finally, at least one of them's on camera. It was a good one as well, and then, It is what it is, isn't it?
It is, and you say just a bit bruised, but nothing major.
No, nothing major. No, I got declared unfit just because I hurt my arm. I couldn't really lift my arm, but it's eased up now. And I'm just a bit stiff, but I'm all right. It's just the bike's still in bits in the shed now, not the kitchen.
But that must be so frustrating, when you go, and we hear, again, we hear from people who go and manage to convince the medics that they are fit when, sometimes they probably shouldn't be. But it must be so frustrating because you put so much time and effort into it, and obviously having to get over there from the Isle of Man, weather wasn't fantastic either, and you just must think, oh God. Yeah,
that was the biggest disappointment was the fact that we were away. If it was Derby, I would have been like, it's only down the road. But when you've spent, like Ray, he covered the boat himself, from Blind Smart, that didn't come out of the team budget. and then the accommodation, and then Ray's ferrying us around in his van all weekend, and then it's like go first thing on Friday morning. And it's like, oh, let's get the boat home then. It was a proper bummer because, like I said, I was really looking forward to the 2 days racing there, and that one I do feel bad at for the sponsors, and especially for Ray, all the effort that he put in organising to help all the other boys out that were in the garage with us and stuff. It wasn't ideal, to be fair.
I guess it's just look ahead now. What is next?
So it was supposed to be Derby this weekend, but the bike's not going to be fixed, and I'm probably not going to be fit enough to ride anyway. So we've pulled an entry for that. And then I think the next meeting will be Derby next month. I don't even know what month are we in.
April, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be Derby, and then I think it'll just be Derby up till the Southern 100. Just to get some seat time for that, get the signatures in for the Grand Prix.
Are you doing the pre-TT again?
No, actually not doing it this year. I've got family stuff on that weekend. So.
And again, you're working alongside this as well, aren't you? And it's just something I think people don't really see is how much time goes into getting you on that start line in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of effort, but you've got to have good people around you. Like, I'm really lucky with my wife the way she is. Like, she just lets me get on and do whatever. Like, I've spent so much time building this shed now over the winter, and then like getting the bike and stuff and sorting the bike out. You need people like that around you, and then you need other people that are willing to come help you out and stuff. If you get stuck on something, I've got loads of good friends that will come and help out and stuff. And, if you didn't have people like that around you, you'd be knackered. You wouldn't be able to do anything.
And obviously, sights firmly set, as we say, on MGP 2026. Have you got the team sorted for you for that?
I've got, so my friend Mark Rain, he helped me out in the pits last year. He's going to help again. And then I've got George. I think I've got another lad sorted out. My main guy, as much last year, was Jason. It took me 7 months to convince him to come help me. He's a funny little man, he is. So I'm trying to get him to help me again this year, but I think he said he might actually do it himself, so he doesn't have to come help me this year.
Why wouldn't you want to come and, help you prepare anyway? Sit in your shed on your sofa watching your projector?
Yeah, if I get him some beers, he might come and help.
And then I suppose from the point of view of you having a goal, obviously the first one didn't go quite according to plan. Are you a sort of a goal setter, or is it just rock up and just see how it goes?
Really, no. I mean, I went into last year and I'd said to everyone, like, I know a lot of the boys go in and they'll have a lap time in their head that they want to do. I sort of had one in my head, but I'd said to everyone, I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to let the whole week come to me and just build up. And I did, and every lap I went a bit quicker. And the last lap that I actually broke down on was the first lap where I'd said to myself, let's push on a bit, try and go quicker, because I hadn't done that all week. I just learning where I'm going, Obviously I know where I'm going, but it's different when you go the speed you're going. So yeah, the last lap I'd nailed the first bit of the track. I was happy with the way I'd ridden through it. But yeah, going into this year, I mean, if I can start the week where I finished last year, then I'd be happy with that, and then just again try and build through the week. I'm not going out there trying to be a hero and throwing a hedge or anything. I want, as long as I go out, have fun, get home safe. That's the main thing with me. And
it must be quite something when you're sitting there and you get that tap on the shoulder from Mark Pendlebury. Obviously, you have the first one where you're behind other riders, that controlled lap, and then out on your own. Does that ever lose the buzz?
No, I mean the controlled lap. It was me, Grant, and Blake. We were behind Johnny Barton, and we were the first three out on the road. That was such a weird thing, because no bikes had been through, so all the dust was still on the roads, and you see everyone on the hedges and stuff, and I was like, what is going on? Like, this is mental. And then, you come in, and then they had another session first, but like an hour later, it's just like, off you go. It's nearly 40 miles of the Manx roads, go and have some fun. It was like, what is going on? It was, that was mental. And then, yeah, like getting the tap on the shoulder in the race was, yeah, it was something different, and I don't think that buzz will ever go when you sat there waiting to go.
And do you get nervous? Are you sort of one who struggles with that, or?
Sort of. I get like nervous up to it. I do about 400 nervous wheeze. Like I'm up on the start, and I need another way back down. Did that a lot, but then when there's about 10 minutes left to go, I'm sort of locked in. Then I'm all right. I don't really speak to anyone up on the start line.
And what's it like for your wife and your kids, your family? What are they doing while you're out there?
Well, I think when my wife wasn't crying with nerves, I think she was just obviously had the kids, but her sister was there looking after her and a few of her friends as well. So she had a village people around and looking after the kids so she could concentrate on what I was doing. And a couple of the younger kids didn't come up every day because it's just a bit much for them being up there. But my son and my daughter, they were up like every day, and I think my daughter was a bit nervous as well. My son was as well, but yeah, my wife, especially that newcomer's lap, she was petrified, to be fair. Yeah.
Ray, what's it like for you when you're riders out there? What are you up to?
Well, we just keep an eye out, obviously listen out what's going on. But our main thing is obviously, you know, like I always say to Sam, is just the whole point of this is to go out there and finish a lap and have fun. We're not expecting gold medals and things like that from these guys. These are local riders. They're going out there, and the main thing is just to have fun. So, I mean, for us, it's just the enjoyment for me is knowing that we've got the guys to the start line and they can do what they love.
That's incredible. So if anyone's listening then, Ray, maybe let's just think from a business point of view, first of all, and they think they'd like to get involved, they'd like to get behind a rider. What should they do?
Yeah, so I mean, if someone would like to get involved, we've got a threelegsmotorsport.com. We've got all of our contact details on there. Is also a sponsor inquiry form that they can fill out. We can then contact them, meet up with them, discuss the different options. My cell phone number's on there as well. They're more than welcome to give me a call, and we can go through the various options that we have.
And for a rider who is possibly looking for some support, could they get in touch with you as well?
Yeah, on the website there's also a section if you're looking for sponsorship or you're looking for that assistance. They can once again fill out the inquiry form or contact us, and we can work with them and take it from there.
And as you say, I mean, just seeing them out there doing what they love, knowing that you've been a part of it, yeah, it must be a really proud feeling.
You know what it is? I mean, especially from next year where we're going to play such a big role. I think next year is going to be a lot more proud moment, I think, for next year, because we're going to be able to get a lot more guys out there. I've chatted to a few of the guys, and some of them, it's going to be very difficult to get out next year. So that's why we're just setting this all up this year, getting everything ready. So next year, next season, we can start and get the guys really out there. And I think that I think will be a bit of a different moment, knowing what impact we've actually made for the local riders.
And what needs to happen for you before that time then?
And before that time, so we are going to start talking to a lot more businesses, getting more business. We need more businesses to get involved. Big businesses, small businesses. The more businesses we can get involved, obviously, the more riders we can help. So it does build up to that. So really just going to be if we can get as many local businesses to get involved and get your names out.
And, you know, it's things like the regulations, as you sort of referred to earlier. I mean, they do change things like airbag suits and whatever are going to be mandatory, and it all costs money. So actually being a small part of that, no matter what your business size, and knowing that you've helped somebody achieve something. Yeah, there's a real kudos in that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, if you look at, obviously Sam had this little spill over the weekend, but people don't realize how much money goes into behind the scenes of what actually getting the bike ready to go racing again. And, you know, that's where we get involved, and there's that transparency. I mean, what Sam's got to sort the bike out. We've got to sort leathers out. So that all costs money. And, you know, where we get involved is Sam just sends me messages and says, all right, Ray, I need this. I'm like, yeah, okay, Sam. Or I'm busy working and I just see a message on my phone, need authorization. I'm like, oh gosh, what's Sam buying now? So, you know, it's that what he was referring to earlier is where he doesn't have to worry financially. Whereas myself now, I've got to work really hard to try and get more money in now for the next sort of thing. So, but you know what? We've got it all planned. And it makes a big effort. Obviously, all the sponsors that Sam's got at the moment is a big shout out to all of them. And obviously, if it wasn't for them, Sam, I don't think would be where he would be. Would still be tagging along with the Ninja, I think.
Have you been invited down to the shed? Were you there for the grand opening?
Funny enough, I've been sneakily invited to help him put the roof on and do this. Ray, can you just drop this off for me? Okay, I'll come and drop it off for you. And then next minute I'm there at like 7:00 at night helping him put something on the roof. But yeah, you know what? It's been good. I mean, that's once again what we've achieved. The riders can now do stuff for their family. The main focus is so that the riders can have time for their bikes and then obviously have time for their families. That was I'm family orientated. So it's if the riders can have more time for family, that's a bonus. So they don't have to worry financially about all those.
So pop down to Sam's, bring your hammer and a paintbrush. Sam, just finally, just thinking about people who are going to be at the MGP for the first time this year, given your year's experience, what would be the best piece of advice you'd have for them?
Watch lots of onboards, and then when you get there, just enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it. I mean, you've got to be prepared as well, because if you're going out there unprepared, like I caught up with a guy last year and I caught up to him in Ballacrane, I think, and I didn't get past him to like Glenduff. But it was scary because he was all over the place. He was chopping on the throttle, and it was terrifying. And I finally got past him, and then I spoke to him afterwards, and he said, he goes, the mountain's good for me. He said, I can see where I'm going. He said, the rest of it, I don't know where I'm going. And I thought to myself, well, what? You need to be doing a bit more preparation than that, for this place. So yeah, be prepared for it, and then just enjoy it and get, if there's bits of it that you're stuck on, or one corner in particular, just go and speak to people that have done it, and everyone there will help you. They'll all give you advice to it and, get you through the week.
I suppose some people would say, though, you've got an advantage living over here, but as you mentioned earlier, it's one thing tootling around, but actually going at those speeds is quite a different matter.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely, I thought it was an advantage because I already knew the road, but then I've been watching onboards for like 20 years, so it was sort of already in my head anyway, everything. So I do feel a bit for the boys that have got to come over and, spend all that extra money on the boat and stuff like that. But it's just part and parcel of it, isn't it? You've got to put the homework in so you're ready.
Sam, we wish you all the very best for the coming months. Can't wait to see you back at MGP. And Ray, great to talk to you. Thank you both so much.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Ray Goodwin and Sam Naughton. And you can find all the details about Three Legs Motorsport on the podcast page. Just go to the link there, follow the website, and do get in touch with Ray if you're a business and would be interested in taking up some of those sponsorship opportunities. And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on how Sam does throughout the season. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Startline, brought to you by the Manx Motorcycle Club. If you would like to be involved in a future episode, you can find me on social media, or you can drop me an email. It's beth@startline.im. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.